I was finally able to break this situation down and see just where it all went wrong. And y'all, honestly, it's just too much. He starts the story off by saying his mom sent an email to Keith Lee. Red flag number 1. Where did you get Keith Lee's information from? You said you reached out to him. Where did you get this email address from? They sent Keith Lee an email, obviously so containing their phone number, because the next day, Keith Lee sends them a text message. Red flag number 2. This is the email address that the messages from Keith Lee are coming from. So keep that in mind as I go throughout these text messages. This is who we're talking to. And before I get into the conversation between them and Keith Lee, let me introduce you to red flag number 3. The initial message from Keith Lee, it came in the middle of the night, 12:23 a.m. Who is doing business at that hour? Keith Lee says, hello, on behalf of Keith Lee and the family, we would like to offer a new visit to your food truck. This could help you and your food truck. We also would like to bring the parties of the last incident together and rectify the issue in hopes to change the narrative. We should stay together as Black people. They say, I will do anything. Keith says, first, let's set a date. I'll actually stay for a few hours, but this need, red flag number 4, to be handled with care. We don't want everybody posting videos before I'm there to protect my family. We can start live streaming when the event is start to protect my family. Red flag number 5. I don't want advanced promotion, meaning I don't want people to know I'm coming. Is that okay? And that message in itself, if it made sense, is red flag number 6. Keith says, what day works for you? They say, I promise no one will know. And I have a new location downtown. I have to call and see if I can still get the spot. Okay, let's set up a day and time. Next, I want to bring in a barber and a hairstylist, and I will foot the bill to give out free food for at least 3 hours. Can you contribute towards paying the barber, and I will pay for the food for 3 hours and the hairstylist? I got a barber and hairstylist in mind. Red flag number, I don't even know. I just want to know, can you at least contribute towards the barber? He's a pretty reasonable guy. He does events for $700. Again, the message itself is another red flag. And just in case you're not sure why I'm saying the message itself is a red flag, let's count how many times this person said the same thing. I want to bring the barber and hairstylist, and I will foot the bill to give out free food for at least 3 hours. Okay, message conveyed. Can you contribute towards paying the barber, and I will pay for the food for 3 hours and the hairstylist? Okay, you said that again. I got a barber and hairstylist in mind. Mine. Okay. I just want to know, can you at least contribute towards the barber? He's a pretty reasonable guy. He does events for $700. Again, you're saying the same thing. Why? Moving on. If I can pay after the event, that is fine, because honestly, I have nothing right now. Keith says, yes, perfect. Let's work on setting dates and times. Keith is steady asking about times and dates. They say I should be texting you by tomorrow with that information. Thank you for this opportunity. I promise I won't let you down. I believe in you. Good night. This is no offense to anybody that does this, but the spaces between the punctuation, it's a red flag. The next day they text, good evening. I would love if you can come to this address on this day. I plan on being out there at 1:30, opening up at 3 p.m. Let me know if this works for you. Keith says, okay, I have a secure hairstylist and I will pay you for food. All you have to do is secure the barber. His contact info is below. Confirm these dates. Now, Keith Lee sends the contact for the barber that he wants them to work with. And if you cannot see what this says, it says barber/influencer Justin. I lost count of the red flags, but add that to the list. They let Keith Lee know that they've been trying to reach out to the barber for the past 2 days to send a $300 down payment that he required, but they can't send it because they don't have his information. So they want to know, can we find our own barber? Keith Lee basically says, well, hold on, let me try to call him first. Give me 1 second. Keith Lee say, I got in touch with Justin. He said he was cutting Future hair, and that's one of the reasons I picked him, because he got a lot of connections with rappers. What do that got to do with what we got going on? Red flag number, I don't even know. Then Keith Lee comes up with this idea to anonymously speak to a news station and tell them that he's supposed to be having this big event, giving out free hairstyles and free haircuts with a Z. And then Keith Lee was supposed to just randomly come up there once he saw this big event. He was going to do a live food review and bring in thousands of followers. Talking about this will make you look like a hero in the neighborhood. Now, pause right here. Because what the scammer just did was made it so that Keith Lee didn't have to be there at the opening of the event. Because as the story goes on, they started the grand reopening event without Keith being there. And I was wondering, well, if Keith didn't show up, why did you start the event? And that's because the scammer thought of everything. Either that or you think we can't recognize when somebody is having a conversation with themselves.